Thank you for joining us. We are at our live election center webcast here at WXYZ.com. Chuck Stokes, Channel 7 editorial director, is joining me. Also, the chair of the Democratic Party in the state of Michigan, Mark Brewer, and Bobby Schostak, the chairman of the Republican Party in the state of Michigan, on primary election day 2012.
It is. It sets the stage for November. We got a little preview a little while ago as to what kind of battle is going to be shaping up here in the state of Michigan. Gentlemen, let me ask you, what do you see as the top issues that your candidates are going to be out there pushing so that hopefully people will vote for your candidates?
Jobs and the economy. Plain and simple. It's all about jobs and the economy. Our guys are out there. They have solutions. They have direction. They've got the message out there. They're ready for November.
I think it is jobs and the economy. You're going to be comparing Mitt Romney, who had one of the worst job creation records in the country when he was governor of Massachusetts, destroyed jobs while he was at Bain Capital. Contrast that to the record of President Obama, particularly in this state, with his very courageous rescue of the domestic auto industry.
And you believe that the president's jobs policy are actually working? You believe that?
I believe they worked in Michigan, because if Mitt Romney's way had been the way, we'd have 1 million folks unemployed in the auto industry in this country.
We have 8% Chrysler, for 4 years.
General Motors out of business if Mitt Romney, his candidate, had his way.
Almost 4 years of over 8%. How could anybody be happy with that?
We're not happy with it. We've got a ways to go. But it would have been far worse with Mitt Romney there, who says, let Detroit go bankrupt.
But you know what,
let
Chairman?
Millions of
I
jobs
say go to
in
Lansing.
Michigan and nationally go out of existence. Let our big three go down. That's going to be the difference here in Michigan for Barack Obama.
Chairman Brewer, look at Lansing. Look at cutting deficits, budgets on time, all of the things that under Granholm didn't happen, and they're happening under Governor Snyder. Unemployment has been dropping, and that's the example of what Washington needs, and you know that too.
And here's what we've seen out of the Republicans in Lansing last year and a half. $1 billion cut to public education, raising taxes on seniors, the middle class, the poor in the state, to do what? To pay for a $2 billion big business corporate tax cut that hasn't produced a single job. That kind of agenda is not going to be accepted by the people here in Michigan.
Mark Brewer, how concerned are you that even though Democrats have, for the last several elections at the presidential level, won here in Michigan, that this state right now is controlled by Republicans at every branch of government, and that if there's ever a time that Republicans might be able to deliver this state, it's this time?
The same thing was true back in 1996 and 2000. When Engler was governor, the Republicans controlled the legislature. They couldn't deliver Michigan then. This remains a very competitive two-party state. Chuck, we've done very well here since 1992. We've carried it every 4 years. We're not taking anything for granted. We've got to get out and work and talk about the president's record, but I'm confident in the end, Barack Obama carries Michigan.
Bobby Schostak, how much pressure is on you as chair of the Michigan Republican Party to deliver this state for Mitt Romney?
I don't feel the pressure. I feel the energy. 79 counties in 2010, Governor Snyder won. And across the state, great Republican leadership is showing an improvement in our economy, an improvement in unemployment, an improvement in cutting our deficits down to zero, and balancing our budgets. Those are the sorts of things that will drive this election this fall.
And you made the point, Bobby, that at this point in time, this president should have a much bigger lead in the state of Michigan than he does if he wants to be successful in November. That's your point.
Clearly, Obama should be up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points if he had anything going for him in Michigan. The fact is that he doesn't. Mark likes to credit other reasons why the administration's been successful. The reality is that the Republican way in Lansing is working. The Republican way with 29 other governors, 29 other states across the country is working. They all had Democrats when there were deficits. They have Republicans, and they have balanced budgets. That's what the message is across this country.
This is really some pretty desperate Republican spin. That the best Bobby can do is hold Barack Obama to a 4, 5, 6-point lead. If that's the best he can do, Barack Obama's going to win Michigan again and going to be reelected president of the United States.
What's the chances that Democrats will take over the Michigan House, take it back?
I think you have a good shot at it for the reasons I just indicated. I mean, the priorities of the Republican legislature are the wrong priorities here in Michigan. Go door to door. Talk to seniors about the horrendous increase they've seen in the senior tax. Talk to parents of kids who've seen class sizes dramatically go up, teachers laid off. You know, $1 billion in public education cuts. Those are not playing well in Michigan. We have a great chance to take the State House back this fall.
And it won't happen. It just won't happen. There is too many good reforms that have taken place. Seniors, independents, Democrats recognize it. That's why there was so much voting over the party lines on behalf of the Republicans last time, and it will continue into this election.
We have lost in the state a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. That's a concern in and of itself, but we've got redistricting now. We've got, Mark, 2 incumbent congressmen, Democrats, running against each other. Only one will survive in this primary to move to November. That's a concern.
Oh, it's a concern, and it's a shame that one of our members of Congress is going to lose that clout in Washington, but it's the nature of politics, and we'll move on. We're neutral in the primary between Hanson Clark and Gary Peters, and we'll embrace whoever comes out on top tonight.
Yeah, was this gerrymandering, Chairman Schostak?
It was Voting Rights Act, absolutely down the line. Is that they had to find a balance. There was so much population loss to Detroit, and it's important for districts to be represented by their own, and that's what took place.
But how do you justify doing a district that goes from Detroit and the Grosse Pointes all the way down to Pontiac and zigzag in between?
It followed the law of the Voting Rights Act, and that was required in order to maintain appropriate population for minority representation. It's as simple as that.
Chuck, you don't have to listen to me. Nonpartisan experts all around the country have said this is one of the most egregious gerrymanders they've ever seen. There is no explanation for those districts other than partisan desire to eliminate Democratic.
And if that were true, it would have been litigated in federal court and it would have been overturned. And they didn't litigate it, and it wasn't overturned. It wasn't pursued because it's fair.
Mark Brewer, if Democrats get control of the state again 10 years from now, will you do the exact same thing? Just say, hey, it's our turnabout, it's
Here's
fair
what
play.
we need, Chuck. We really do need redistricting reform in this state that levels the playing field for both parties. We'd be in favor of taking it out of the hands of the legislature, out of the hands of the governor, put it in the hands of a nonpartisan commission with very strict rules, because in the end, it's the voters who are disserved by this. Many of these districts, their representatives are going to be decided tonight. That's not fair. These elections should be at play in November, not decided in primaries.
But that's not going to happen. I mean, no
It's
matter.
happened in other states.
But it's not-
California
but
has
it's-
moved to that. Florida has moved to a nonpartisan commission. So I'm hoping that we'll see some reform in the near future.
I'm glad to hear him speak of reform. That's very positive. Thank you.
All right, one other race that we haven't touched on in the Senate, the U.S. Senate. On the Republican side, Pete Hoekstra is running, Clark Durant, the 2 most notable candidates there, with the hope of unseating Debbie Stabenow in the fall. Chairman Schostak, your read on where we stand tonight prior to the polls closing.
Sure, it was.
And we could preface it that the latest poll that we showed, showing a matchup between Hoekstra and Debbie Stabenow, has Debbie Stabenow ahead by, I think, about 5 or 6 points.
5 or 6 points. Yeah, look, vibrant primaries are good. It brings the best out of all the candidates. That's what we had tonight. We'll see the result. Obviously, Pete Hoekstra has stronger name recognition from cross-state lines, and that's worked in his favor. Clark Durant is a great conservative, worked hard, got an important message across, and I think come November, we'll be in great shape to take on Debbie Stabenow. She, too, should be much further ahead than the margin of error, and for that, she's vulnerable, and for that reason, we'll be sending a Republican to Washington to represent the state of Michigan.
Hoekstra and Durant have dug themselves a real deep hole in this primary. They've been pandering to the Tea Party. You had Pete Hoekstra out there saying things like we should drill for oil in the Great Lakes. We should have a birther office in the federal government staffed by the FBI and the CIA. Both of them have said we need to privatize Social Security and Medicare. They would raise taxes on the middle class. Whoever wins tonight, they're going to have a huge hole to dig themselves out of, to even to be competitive with Debbie Stabenow in the
If those
fall.
are your best issues, we're sending a Republican to Washington. It's really simple.
That's fine. You can privatize Social Security. You see what they did last time you tried it.
We agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree. They probably agree on one thing, that they both love the state of Michigan,
Well,
right?
they
We
do.
do. And we actually like each other, too. So.
There you go.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mark
Thank you so
Brewer,
much.
Bobby Schostak, thank you for coming in, spending some time with us on primary election night. Best of luck to all the candidates tonight, and then we'll do this all again
Sounds good.
come November.
Best of luck at your conventions coming up.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're